So the question is, where are you going to get the money from? It's a huge task. And it's usually the thing that most jeopardizes a project for an indie film producer because it's so difficult to get money. Okay, so we talked about how to find high net worth individuals. We talked about kind of the components that go into how to pitch them. Now let's go into some details as to the type of deal that you should be offering, sort of the type of strategy that you should outline for them. All right, but first of all, regarding high net worth individuals, chances are you're going to get money from people who care about you and love you, which is generally family and friends. All right, that's where the first money is going to come from. Never, ever, ever take money from people who can't afford to lose it, especially if they're family or friends. Because if you take money from somebody who you care about, a family, you shouldn't do it from anybody, to be honest with you. Because if you put them in jeopardy and at risk of maybe compromising their lifestyle because you took too much money from them, and if you do lose the money, then it's going to be really bad for a lot of reasons. One is it's going to totally affect the relationship that you have with them for the rest of your life, because you're going to feel really bad and really guilty that you lowered their lifestyle. They're going to feel really bad that their lifestyle is now being compromised for a film that didn't work out. And it's just going to be super, super uncomfortable. It's much, much easier, to be honest with you, emotionally and psychologically, to lose your own money than it is to lose somebody else's. I know a lot of people think that's crazy because, hey, why would you want to lose your own money? But when you lose your own money, you only have yourself to blame, and you only have yourself to sort of account to. When you lose somebody else's money, especially if it's a close friend or family member, you're always going to feel bad about it and always feel guilty. Investing in a film is a gigantically high-risk investment. Make it very clear to them that the risk is really high. This is all your investors, okay, not just your family and friends. And if they can't afford to lose the money, then don't take more than they can afford to lose. All right, they need to go in believing that they're going to lose it all. Now, they're not going to lose it all because I'm going to explain reasons why, all right? But they need to have that mindset because that's what you want in terms of the investor. You don't want them to be at odds of compromising their lifestyle because of a film that you made that didn't work out. Very important. Trust me on this one. You don't want to ruin your life and your relationships with people who you care about, or even people you don't. Now you're in the room with them, and even though they might give you an hour, try to contain it to a half an hour. That's a good succinct pitch, and that's all you need. All right, here's how a pitch goes. The first thing is you introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Jeff Deverett. I'm a filmmaker, and I'm making this great film, and I'm going to pitch you, and I want you to be involved with me financially. Okay? Now, you spend 2 to 3 minutes on the film. My film is tentatively called this. It's about this, this, and this. And here's a short 30 second to 60 second promo reel that I made about the film, a concept reel. 2 to 3 minutes top. A log line, 2 sentences about the movie, and maybe a concept reel. That's the movie I'm making. So now between the intro and that, you're 6 to 7 minutes into your presentation. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, this is how long it's going to take us to make the movie. We're going to have a 20-day shooting schedule. We're going to tentatively shoot it, next July. We're going to shoot it in blah, 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 here or there. Okay, that's another minute. Then the next thing is, here is our plan to get the money back. Here is our distribution and marketing plan to put it out to audiences, to create awareness with audiences, and to recoup the revenue and to hopefully make some money. Now that you're going to spend 10 to 15 minutes explaining your distribution and marketing plan. That is what an investor wants to hear. That's called business. At the end of the day, does an investor want to support you? Yes. But first and foremost, they want their money back. And secondly, they want a profit. That's why we call them an investor as opposed to a donor. You can get donors, but we're not talking about donors in this section. We're talking about investors. Sometimes family and friends, by the way, are donors, and they should probably have the mindset of being a donor that they're not going to get their money back, but we're still going to treat them as investors. So this investor, they need to know what your revenue generation plan is. All right. So they need to know this is how much revenue you think you're going to generate over a certain period of time, because there is a time value of money. So investors, smart investors who really care about investing, not only want to know how they're going to get their money back, and how much they're going to get back, but they want to know the time period in which they're going to get it back. So in an indie feature film project, it's usually 4 to 5 years, believe it or not, because it's about a year of development. Okay, pre-production might be 3 months, production a month, post-production 6 months, delivery a couple months. So it could be up to, say, a year to make the film. Then it's a good 3 years to get it into the marketplace, to distribute it and start to get revenue back. And it could be 5 to 10 more years after that, of recurring revenue streams before investors start to see a return on their investment. So this is what we call cash flow. When will their money go out and when will it come back in? They want to know the time frame of the money. The last component, or the second last component, is what's the deal? Okay, if they give you this amount of money, what are you going to give them in return? Are you going to give them a piece of the action, otherwise known as equity? Like, are they going to be a co-owner with you of the movie? So will they get X% of the profit when it comes in, or X% ownership? Or are you going to take their money maybe as debt, where you borrow the money from them and then you repay it back to them, and then maybe give them interest on their money, or maybe some type of premium payment based on how long you've had their money out? So you can set it up as an equity investment, a debt investment. There's other scenarios. There's hybrids of that as well. On a low budget indie film that is super high risk, here's one of the tips that is going to help you give them confidence that they can trust you and that you are paying attention. One of the greatest tools of getting people to give you money is putting your own money in first, okay, which we call having skin in the game. Now, here's the secret to doing that, all right? You remember I said you don't want to put somebody in a compromised position where maybe it will affect their lifestyle? The amount that you need to put in is the amount that is right on the edge of affecting your lifestyle. It's the most you can possibly afford. So let's say you think that your net worth is $50,000. You really can't afford anything. You can't afford to put in any money. If you put in, say, 10% of that, $5,000, which $5,000 is not a lot of money. It's nothing, right? But it's 10% of your net worth because you're not worth a lot. Then that is an indicator to a high net worth individual that you are willing to put your own self at risk, along with them. So even though the amount is not big, the percentage against your net worth is very big. And it shows a commitment to your movie. If you put that money in and you say, I know it's not a lot of money, but to me it's a lot of money based on my net worth, and I'm going to put it in first position and I'm going to take it out in last position. Meaning, depending on the style of the scenario, whether it's equity or debt, you structure your investment in such a way where you say to them, my money will go in first, so it's the highest risk, and it will come out last. So if we make back, let's say, it's $1 million and we make back $995,000, then my $5,000 is the money that we lose. I'm paying you back before me, even though you can well afford it. You're worth way more than I am, and it's a lot less risk for you relative to your personal net wealth. But I want to show you my commitment to the project, and I am willing to put myself in last position, meaning that I'm always going to be paying attention because I want my money back. So what you're doing is you're aligning your interests with your investors, because not only now are you the producer of the project, but you're also an investor with them. And as an investor, you're also aligning your interests with them, but you're the most high-risk investor because you're willing to put yourself in last position to get your money back. The reason you would do that is because it gives other people confidence in your commitment to the project, and that will help them trust you more. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's really an important concept, and it's very important for people to see how committed you are and how willing you are to take risk along with them. So that's a very important component, to have skin in the game first before they do. Because if you lead, it will be easier for them to follow. All right, now, as I said before, don't take more than they can afford. Depending on their net worth, you want to ask for what you think is the right amount of money. If they believe in you, remember I said not your project, if they believe in you and they trust you that you're going to manage their money in the same way you're going to manage your own money, then they'll be willing to support you, and maybe, just maybe, it's going to work out. If it works out, the deals in the movie business can be very lucrative. So we've all heard the stories of the anomalies, the dream, what I call the Hollywood dream stuff. the Blair Witches, the ones that get made for, $25,000 to $50,000 and make $10 million or more. In the case of Blair Witch, $100 million. It's very infrequent that it happens, but it's the movie business. And it does happen every once in a while. And that's what people are investing in addition to you. They're investing in the dream of the anomaly happening, that you catch lightning in a bottle. You tell them you're likely not going to, but it's possible that you will. That is the Hollywood dream. And then, as I mentioned before, the final component is the fun stuff. This is a movie investment. It's the movie business. Movies are fun. They're sexy. They're appealing. It's not like a boring real estate deal or a boring stock deal. You give the investors, the chance to come on set to watch the film being made. You give them a credit in the movie. You give them maybe a cameo. You give them a red carpet screening. You give them, a screening link. You just make it fun for them. It is the movie business, and that's the fun stuff. It's not the reason they're going to invest. It's the icing on the cake that makes it really fun and intriguing for them to say, hey, I invested in a movie. Because these people never invest. They invest in real estate for the most part, and and biotech and high tech and that kind of stuff, which in some cases is just as risky. So just make it fun. That's the secret, and that will be the thing that, like I said, ices the cake. This is not their major investment. This is a small little side thing that they're doing to have some fun with and to support you. They don't want to be bothered by very expensive, fancy legal documents and all this kind of stuff. So keep it really simple.